Younger Redditors, what scares you about getting older? Older Redditors, what is it that younger shouldn't worry about? I am worried about debt, being unfulfilled or lonely, my joints crapping out, and not being hip to the future tech that will enable me to discreetly buy my embarrassing old people supplies. Fear to grow older is much stronger than the actual pain to be older. Less than 25-year-olds. Don't listen to the Reddit posts telling you to ditch friends who don't make enough effort. Some of my best lifelong friends are those who I don't speak to or see regularly, but when we do it's like we just saw each other yesterday, and you bet your life I'd drop everything to help them if they ever needed it. On the other hand, I've lost friends who didn't understand that I don't need to see you 3 times a week and message every day to maintain a friendship. To me, that's exhausting and impractical once you have kids, married life, work stresses etc. But because it isn't a friendship solely on their terms they will ditch you. The fun is in figuring out who's who. I'm 26. After caring for my elderly father for 3 years who had a variety of different problems both physically and mentally, I don't want to live like that. And the other half of me thinks, is this as good as it gets? Just work all the time, come home tired, not wanting to do a thing. So by the time I should be able to retire I'm going to just be a shell of myself. It just doesn't seem worth it to me anymore. Middle-aged guy here. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Don't worry about messing it up in early adulthood. Unless you're some goody perfect little bastard, you're probably going to make a ton of mistakes. We all do. Just don't carry those mistakes into your 30s, 40s, 50s, etc. Learn from them. Oh, and stay out of prison. 1. In the words of Homer Simpson, don't keep blaming yourself. Blame yourself once and move on. 2. Try and come to terms with who you are. Accept the flaws you can't change and work on the ones you can. Once you are happy with you, it then becomes easier to be happy with other things. 3. Make time to do what you enjoy. Life isn't all about work and money isn't everything. I'm 25 and already in renal failure because of crappy genetics. If I live an average lifespan, that'll mean roughly 55 years of health complications due to my itty kidneys. Even with dialysis or a transplant, there will still be issues. Also have a 50/50 chance of giving it to my children and inflicting that future on them as well. TLDR, genetics sucks. Hair loss. I've always been told I look like my mum. And every guy on my mum's side of the family, 2 brothers, dad, granddad, has been pretty much bald by 35. I'm 18 and it's scared of losing all my hair. I am smack dab in the middle, 37 years old. I'm not young, and I'm not old, so I'll answer both. The thing that scares me the most about getting older is my body. I already have chronic pain, herniated disc in neck. I'm predisposed to heart disease and cancer, especially skin cancer. Light skin with boku blistering sunburns as a kid. I'm about 10 pounds overweight already, and I break bones easily. My body is already kind of a chow. What'll it be like when I'm 50, 60? Will I make it to 70? And the thing I'd like to reassure the youngins about is that it's okay to live life at your own pace. It's okay not to know what you want to be when you grow up. It's okay not to go to college. It's okay if you're not married by 30. On the subject of marriage, do not settle. It's better to be alone than to be married, legally linked and expensive to unlink, to someone you don't actually want to spend your life with. You guys, my brother is a doctor. He didn't graduate medical school until he was 35. When he was in his teens, he thought he'd be a musician. In his early 20s, he thought he'd work in amusements or restaurants forever. Only after becoming an EMT in his late 20s did he discover his talent and passion for patient care. Oh, and absolutely do not have kids if you don't want them. It's super hard. It's rewarding. I have a kid and he's McFreakin' awesome. But it's hard. Both potential parents should be completely sold on the idea of having kids before having them. I'm 32. I'm not worried so much for my future as my father's. He has 0 saved and a lifetime of physical labor ailments to deal with. It terrifies me knowing he will hate the burden he will become. I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened. More than what is it that younger shouldn't worry about? Getting old. Really? As long as you do a decent job with your life. No need to be perfect. But, okay, every year will get better and better. Really? From your career to your finances to relationships, sex. Yup, that too. Sure, it happens. And you'll be faced with situations that will be challenging. But you'll get through it. Avoid. Don't abuse drugs. Really. Don't cripple yourself financially with consumer credit. Don't do stupid things. Do. Think of life as a marathon, not a sprint. Develop a career, not just take a job. Get serious about your education. College if you can. Otherwise, trade or develop your talents. Our fitness will make you look good and give you quantity and quality of life. Eat well and lift heavy. It only takes 3 hours a week and you'll eat a lot of great foods. Steak anyone. Of course, donuts are out. Our personal finance will guide you on how to make the most out of your money and to invest too. Don't forget to have some fun too. There's a wide middle ground between partying all day and being boring, and in that middle ground, people are far from average. 72. Don't worry about anything you can't change. You can make it through anything. Life is what is happening now and you control what, how, when, and where you think and feel about it. Learn what little you need to survive. Everything beyond that is a gift. Trust but verify. There are no mistakes. Just learning opportunities. Invest in yourself, your time, your money, your emotions, your comfort, your learning, your well-being, your future. Chill out often. 20-year-old. Terrified that if I keep doing averagely in university I'll never be successful and live the life I want. It gives me anxiety seeing my classmates ace a test I did normally in. I may be more accomplished in other areas but it feels like academics is the only thing that matters at this point in my life and I can't stand out in that area no matter how hard I try. Edit. Wow. It's simultaneously reassuring and terrifying that so many people feel the same. Also, thank you all for the kind words and the advice. We'll go through this thread when I find the time. Sorry I can't reply to you all. 20 here. How the hell do you keep your close friends from college high school without losing the level of intimacy you guys had? Is that even possible? Treating age 40 like you're suddenly frail elderly now. There's really no need. Midlife crisis is a bullet pop psych concept also. It's not a real thing unless you're an absolute moron. That I, 26, have already wasted the best moments and opportunities for event thing, and doing it later, if ever, will just result in me having a subpar experience that might no longer be worth it compared to when I was younger. 45F here. Being single. It's better to be single than to be dating an asshole. I have seen so many women make that mistake because they are almost 30. Their biological clock is ticking. I have been to a couple of weddings that I knew wouldn't last. It was sad to see all that money and energy wasted. Full stop. I'm 15 years cystic fibrosis and scared of death. Edit. Thanks everyone for support and hope you all have a great life full of love and I also hope that CF people will get more treatment and longer lifespan. Edit. The fading of my beauty. It is cliche and shallow but it is true. I grew into loveliness and I know how differently a woman gets treated when they are good looking. I have very few mental body issues and can make most people do as I wish with a clever word and a few well placed glances. As I said, I grew into it. I know what it is to be undesirable as well. And getting too old to wield beauty effectively terrifies me more than I like to admit. I am 25 and I am an engineer in New Jersey. My job is already affected by rising floodwaters and revised FEMA maps. And I hear doom and gloom over the climate that seems true based on the work I am doing. The rains are coming down harder and longer and seemingly more sparse and that sort of intensity is going to wreak havoc on existing stormwater systems. I don't like thinking about the other environmental impacts a warmer planet could have. Also, plastic and waste management bother me because I recently discovered the business of exporting trash to other states to deal with. The whole planet seems increasingly more screwed up with each passing year and I worry if the air is going to be livable or if the temperature is going to be favorable by the time I am 100. What about kids? I want a family, but I wouldn't want to subject them to what I honestly feel is an impending doom. So, I'm 60. I have about a dozen different conditions. Arthritis, fibromyalgia, depression, restless leg syndrome, nighttime agitation, blah, blah, blah. None of them will kill me. I'm pretty sure I'll just be annoyed to death. On my headstone, it'll read, "'Twas the last anal itch that did him in." Younger Redditors, you'll duck up. You'll break your own moral rules. Please don't let these mistakes haunt you. It's okay to feel bad. It helps you learn. Just don't dwell. We've all done it. I'm 27, but I haven't really matured or grown much in the past 5 years. I'm afraid that this will continue and I'll eventually be unable to relate to people my own age. 22-year-old. After making a complete clusterfuck out of my first 4 years in college due to not having one clue about what I'd like to do for the rest of my life, I can honestly say my biggest fear is not being able to find my place in this world. I've changed my major 4 times and probably failed a year's worth of classes at this point. I just honestly do not have one clue what the duck I'm doing on a day-to-day basis besides just making it to the next one. I enjoy living. A lot. It's a gift. I get it. And I've found a bit of meaning in my suffering. I'm just tired of waiting for it to feel like a gift. That's all. Until then, I'm chain smoking cigarettes and writing like hell until I can get good enough to make a career out of both of those things. Get licensed secular non-religious therapy as early in life as it's available. Lots of colleges have it for free. Take advantage of it. You can afford it. Life goes quickly. Be mentally healthy as soon as you can. Oh, everybody can benefit from therapy. Have a fun life. 45 here. Guys, don't buy all the scare tactics over low testosterone. It's not that bad. And not thinking with your D all the time helps keep you from making a lot of stupid decisions. Working more than 40 hours a week seems crazy to me. I have no time for anything else. Is that all life is? Apart from what others have said, I'm afraid of getting too old to continue going to gigs and cool pubs. I often see people over 40 looking out of place and awkward in hip bars. At what point do you start having to go to more age-appropriate places? Edit. Thanks to everyone who replied. You've actually made me feel a lot better about getting older. I shouldn't feel ashamed or awkward by wanting to continue living my life. I'll keep an eye out for other fun-loving people and will refuse to let life become boring. D. I am 14. I do not want to ever die. Ducking terrifies me. That is all. Having friends who I can trust while getting old. I'm very scared about jobs in the future. I'm afraid there won't be any more good paying work, even for college educated people. 21 years old, losing my parents. 23 here. I've seen a lot of others my age sharing the same fear of financial stability. I'm still living with my parents and honestly every day I wonder more and more how the duck they've done it all these years. Food on the table, clothes on my back, bills, good school district, good college. Everyone in our family has a car, and still, we've always had enough to be able to buy luxury things from time to time too. Seriously, I'm sitting in the kitchen right now and it's really a mind duck to look around and realize that every single item in here, down to like the tinfoil lid on my yogurt even, costs money. That's ducking terrifying. I don't want to be in pain all the time. I don't want my mind to go. We buried my grandma-in-law yesterday, and I realized that I didn't really know her. I just knew this husk of a woman with Alzheimer's and dementia who puttered around the house tearing her diapers apart. I don't want that to be me. I don't want people to not know who I really am because I'm too old to even be me anymore. I'm 28. The answer to both questions is the same. When I was younger I was afraid of life getting duller, less fun as I grew old. Think people that says stuff like, oh, high school is the best time of your life, or college is the best time of your life. My mom in particular always went on about how college was the best period of her life, so to me it seemed like getting older would be just a downhill. Younger kids, not true at all. Life is so good. Life can get so good. I can honestly say life was fantastic in middle school, and then fantastic in high school, and then fantastic again in college, and then fantastic again post-college etc. Life never went downhill. At least not due to age or stages. Sure, life has ups and downs, but there's definitely not a time-based moment where your fun suddenly reaches its expiration point. So yeah, don't be afraid of getting older and therefore dull. The dull part is optional. Feeling like you've grown up. Doesn't matter how old you get, you still feel like the same person as you always have. We're all just winging it. 22. Flunked out of college. Still waiting. I'm 24, nearly 25, and single. Meeting people that want a real relationship and the same things as me is becoming increasingly more difficult. I have social anxiety that can become really severe, especially in common meeting places like bars. So the only way I can really meet people is online, because I can talk to them, find their social media and generally be comfortable with them before meeting. I'm scared of everything about adulthood basically. Employment. I have non-existent people skills and pretty awful social anxiety or something, and since everyone says that networking and connections are the single most important factors in a successful career, I already accepted that I'll just live a second-class life without any good opportunities. Social life. I'm 22 and don't have a single friend. According to Reddit, or anyone really, this won't ever change because adults have a super hard time making friends even if they're likable and social. Meetup.com, BTWXD, love, life, so hard and difficult and scary, I'm not enough for this. 15. Never had a girlfriend. I am terrified of dying alone and or a virgin. That one day my D won't work or will just fall off. I am 23 and overweight. What scares me the most is the thought of having already wasted my prime years when it comes to attractiveness. Because of my weight. While I've had some relationships, I feel like if I were an athletic man in his 20s I would have gotten a lot more success. It's all in your head, dude. I work 45-55 hours a week, and then come home and work a farm that was left behind after my father died. I'm tired and worn out constantly, but that's no reason to stop myself from finding enjoyment in life, even if it's video games, or just sitting around reading, or daydreaming. Dying, and the fact it could happen anytime even if I'm careful. Start saving for retirement as soon as you can. I started at 22 and I'm almost there at 56. I'm 19 and decided to do some life expectancy calculators for fun the other week. On average, they predicted I'll probably live to 95. WTF am I meant to do for the next 70 years? The retirement age in my country is 65, I think. That gives me 30 years in between finishing work, hypothetically, and dying. What am I gonna do? What money am I going to live off? Will I have children and will they look after me then? WTF. Don't listen to most Reddit advice. It sucks. Life going out super fast as everyone else says. I'm 17 and already feeling the effects. I feel like I'll go from 20 to 30 in a blink. The state of the economy and the political tension worldwide. Never had a real girlfriend at 22. Scared I'm gonna be forever alone. 25. That my struggles with alcoholism will eventually lead to alienating everyone I know and then I kill myself. I'm scared of watching my family die as they grow older. Not really what OP asked for. My younger people, look after your knees. I'm mid-30s, my right knee is ducked. I can guess the weather better than the BBC. I'm 22. I'm scared of losing people. My father is my hero, but he's getting older. I try to rationalize my fears as normal because I love my dad more than anything. Same with my dog. I'm doing my best, but there will be a day when the hero won't be able to come to my rescue, and that terrifies me. Climate changes. The older generations are making decisions that will last much longer than them, and unfortunately they don't seem to care about the future. I've heard powerful politicians say publicly that we're not gonna be alive when this happens. So why do we care? He's about 40 years older than me. What you should be scared of: growing old, having never had kids and a spouse. It's lonely. I have a lot of girlfriends who never got married, or are divorced, and never had kids. They were happy until they weren't. Our looks are fading fast and work isn't as rewarding as it was when we were young and full of energy. I bucked the trend among my extreme feminist group of friends and got married and had babies. I'm excited to grow old and watch them grow into adults. I have so much to look forward to and they are all certain their best years are behind them. It sounds cliche but family really is the most important thing in life. I want some advice from an older Redditor. I'm 20 but it's hard to look at myself and think that I'm good enough. I have a lot of doubt about who I am and where I am in my life. Who has any advice? 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. For the next 40 years, I feel like I'm staring into an endless ducking pit. Old guy here. Don't take the whole world onto your shoulders. There will always be bad things happening. Carve out a little piece of the universe and populate it with good people. Also, be the type of person who attracts good people. Yes, many bad things are happening. Yes, our country is in decline, and it has been for a few decades now, but it still has its bright spots. Don't focus on the versus you can't control. Focus hard on the things you can control. Make things a bit better by your impact.